The biggest mistake that we do is to narrowly define karma as a process of reward and punishment basis our so-called good and bad actions. Karma is a system. Karma is a force that drives our current reality. Namaste. My name is Bidhan. 2012 is when I chanced upon Upanishads, and it had a profound impact on my life. Since then, I have dreamt to bring the key aspects of Upanishads in a manner which is simple, relatable, and implementable in our daily lives. So here we are with a set of videos to make spirituality simple. Welcome, Preeti.
Hi, Bidhan.
So we are here to start on our new series on karma. How do you feel?
I'm excited and I think I'm really ready to delve deep into the topic of karma.
Karma. All right. To our viewers, thank you so much for the wonderful response that we have got from you. And yes, a lot of you have registered for a workshop which is coming next week. Hope someone from our side has got in touch with you. And those who still want to register for the workshop, go ahead and do it right now. The link is there in the description below. So, when I was constructing this concept of karma, what I felt, Preeti, is that this very episode, let us only concentrate on defining what is karma rather than going further into it. What do you say?
I mean, it's not that complicated to define what karma is. So why are we spending a whole episode on it?
Okay, you feel karma is easy to define karma.
Yeah.
Tell me what is karma.
Okay, fine. I think karma is basically any kind of action that we do knowingly that creates an outcome, right? Like basically good actions create good outcomes and bad actions create bad outcomes.
So simple.
That's what I meant.
You have created so much of complications in my head already. Okay, here we go. You said good action, good outcome, bad action, bad outcome.
Yes.
That's the second part of your thing. How do you know, or who has told you which action is good and which action is bad?
I mean, what do you mean? We've all been told, we've been taught certain things, and that's what we follow even today.
Okay, so let's make it simple and complicated for you. Suppose I have been raised saying that protein is very important for your body and the egg is the best source of protein. And I have been born and brought up eating eggs.
Okay.
And for me, eating egg is a good action. But maybe for you, you have been told that eating egg is a bad action because it is akin to some kind of a cruelty on animals. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it possible that both of us can have two different views on the same action?
Yeah, it's completely possible.
So now tell me, if I eat an egg, will I get punished or I will get punyam? Right? So, because I understand that karma is going to be, the laws of karma is going to be neutral. It does not necessarily depend upon your belief system and my belief system. So tell me, eating egg is good or bad?
Okay, let's get one thing very clear. I am the one asking questions here. So you answer.
See this? So the first point that you said, good action to good outcome, we first of all really do not know clearly which is good and which is bad, because most of our good and bad comes from our belief systems. Is that a universal law? We don't know.
Okay. So then what is good karma? Is there a list that you can give me that I can find somewhere, Google it and find what is good karma?
Not so fast. But spiritual seekers are not interested even in good karma. They just want to drop their karmas.
Drop the karmas. What does that mean?
Okay, we'll come to that later. So right now, first complication you gave it to me is good and bad. But there are a lot more complications in your system.
In my statement?
Yes.
Wow, I made a very simple statement. What else?
You said that the actions done knowingly leads to karma, if you refer to what you said.
Okay.
So does it mean the actions which are done unknowingly, does it fall in the purview of your karma?
I mean, unknowingly, how can it fall under my karma? No, maybe not, right?
No.
As soon as I said it, I knew you were going to say something.
Any action that you do either knowingly or even unknowingly becomes your karma. Let me repeat it. Any action you are doing knowingly or consciously, unknowingly or unconsciously also becomes your karma. And to state this, are you open to a story?
Yeah, I love stories.
Okay. So this story is from Mahabharata, where Bhishma is telling this to Yudhishthir. But I need a promise from you.
Okay.
When I'm telling you this story, please do not get hold on to me on the literal facts. Understand the essence of what this story is trying to say.
Okay.
Right? So do not, start pushing me and saying, hey, this doesn't sound right. Understand the essence. So the story goes like this. So this story is about a king, Nruga, and he was known for his benevolent behavior. He used to basically donate hundreds and thousands of cows to his people, specifically Brahmanas. Unfortunately, one of those days, one of the cow from a Brahmana ran and came to the king's palace. And king, without knowing that cow belongs to someone else, the king thought it belongs to them, donated that cow to another Brahmana. So when that Brahmana was taking the cow, the actual owner spotted his cow and said, this cow belongs to me. That person said, no, it is gifted to me by the king. So they decided to go to the king. So the king understood what exactly happened, and then he looked at to the new owner to whom he donated. He said that, look, this cow does not belong to me, and I have by mistake donated it to you. Can you just give it back to the original owner, and I will give you hundreds of cows in return? The Brahman said, no. Once I have received something from you, I cannot give it back. It is against my understanding. I'm sorry, I can't give it back to you because you have donated to me. Then king looked to the original owner and said, look, I know this mistake has happened unknowingly. Can I compensate you by giving hundreds of other cows, better cows? The original owner said, no, I want that cow itself because that belongs to me. I am not here to take any kind of gifts from the kings. Now the king was perplexed. What does he do? And after he died, the agents of death came to him and listed all the good deeds and bad deeds that he has done. And he pointed out one of the bad deeds that he has done is gifted the cow which belonged to one Brahman to another Brahman, even though it was done unknowingly, and therefore he has to basically pay a price for that. And the price is that he would be converted into a lizard, or he could just take all the benefits or the punyams he has accumulated for his good deeds and later go and become a lizard. The king said, okay, let me pay the price for my so-called sins. And when he got converted into a lizard, later Shri Krishna released him from his sins. All right. So this is what the story is all about. How do you feel?
Lizard, really? But anyway, it's all seems kind of unfair. Like he didn't know that the cow was not his, and it all seems quite unfair, right?
Fair and unfair is your way, is your yardstick. Universe really doesn't care, right? And what I'm trying to tell you again is, please look into the essence of the story. Let's not get literally caught into him becoming a lizard, fair, unfair. That's what I told you in the beginning. Let's look at the essence. What is the story trying to say? The story is trying to tell you that it really doesn't matter any action that you do, whether it is conscious, knowingly, or unknowingly, will have an outcome, and you have to face that outcome.
Okay.
Let's take another example in the current context. I just gave you a reference of a story which was there in Mahabharata. So let's take another example. In the current context, you have to go to the airport. You have booked a cab. The cab person shows up. You are rushing into the cab because you might be getting late knowing Bangalore traffic. Unfortunately, the cab driver was drunk and you could not make out at that moment when you were entering the cab. While there were some signs, but you were too preoccupied with making sure that your luggage is in place, you are not getting delayed, and you went ahead. And since the driver was drunk, you meet with an accident. Now, when you meet with an accident, was it your fault?
No.
It was driver's fault because he was drunk. Did you consciously choose a drunken driver?
No.
You didn't. But unconsciously, you chose to be there, and all those initial signs you might have ignored because you were getting delayed. So, unconsciously, you chose that driver.
Unconsciously, I was okay with the choice, basically. Okay.
I mean, it just happened. It just happened. You did not, and the point I'm trying to tell you here is that you did not choose to be with a driver who is drunk, but still you will have to face the consequences because it was an unconscious choice.
Oh my God, that's quite scary if you think about it. Meaning,
Now,
you're saying that even though, in the same example, even though I was not responsible for the accident, the driver was drunk and thus he caused an accident. But because I got into this cab and was not aware that he was drunk,
yes,
I am also indirectly responsible for this accident.
you are not aware enough to
Okay.
catch his actions.
And that's why it falls under my karma also.
You're scared?
It's quite scary to think that intentional actions itself, we know, okay, we already know that intentional actions come under the purview of the outcomes that I have to face.
Right.
But now you're saying that anything done unconsciously or unintentional also falls under the same purview.
It does.
It's very, very scary, Bidan.
Now, since I've scared you, I can take you in my control and give you easy ways to come out of this situation and make a lot of money from you.
Yes, give me a ritual I can do that I can just wipe the slate clean.
The point is, this, if you go really deeper into karma, it's a little complicated. It's not as simple as you said. In fact, this one statement you said, any action done consciously leads to good outcome and bad outcome, that itself has created. I have another complication from what you asked.
Oh no. Bidan, like I made a very, very simple statement off the top of my head, and you're sitting and dissecting every word I said.
Okay, so you said that any action done knowingly is thought an action?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how to answer it anymore. I'm keeping quiet.
See, Shri Krishna in I think it's in chapter 4 in Bhagavad Gita very clearly said, karma is complex and it works in its own complicated and mysterious ways. We try to give a very simplistic statement around it. And to make the matter worse, you would not find direct references in Upanishad explaining the entire doctrine of karma. You have to specifically rely on various stories, concepts from Mahabharata, from Bhagavad Gita, and the teachers and the teachings of our gurus to kind of make sense of how karma works. And a lot has to be understood by your own self when you are self-aware and when you are able to see the system little bit from detachment, you will understand how karma operates. And that is what I said to you in the beginning. Let's first define karma before we start understanding the doctrine of karma.
Wow, and I didn't know that, karma has such a depth to it. When we started talking only, I'm getting the idea. And I was in big idea, like, I'm going to ask you big questions, and we are even going to delve into things like, is there any scientific, is it scientific what you're talking about? I was going to ask you about, even something that was always in my mind is when you talk about non-duality, you say that we are all one, right? But then how can there be separate karmas for everyone? I was going to ask you about, the different lifetimes and destiny. I was going to ask so many things, but The fact that you're sort of breaking down just the term karma, I think that's where we need to begin.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for bringing this out, Preeti. And we will delve into each and every question that you have asked in a lot of detail. But before that, we need to first clarify in terms of what do we really mean by karma. Let's understand that. And to make it simple, okay, let's do a small play here. If I were to ask you, what is the karma you're doing right now?
Karma as in?
What is your karma this very moment? What are you doing right now? What is your karma now?
I'm sitting and I'm listening to you.
Is that the only thing that you're doing?
Yeah.
These are the only thing that you're doing consciously. So let me ask you, aren't there questions coming in your head?
Yes.
Multiple questions? Some questions you choose to ask, some you ignore.
Yeah.
Isn't that your karma?
Okay.
Right? When I told you that story, I could see your facial expression that you didn't like the story. Isn't that emotion your karma?
Okay.
You feel scared. You said that you felt scared. Isn't that your karma?
Okay.
You in fact said that I'm not feeling good about this. Even that's your karma. You may have done all this unconsciously, but it is having an outcome.
Okay.
The fact that you're saying these things are now changing the course of our discussion itself. Do you see this? The fact that your heart is beating, your food is getting digested, the blood is flowing in your veins, isn't that karma?
You're saying that everything that is happening, whether I know it or not, is karma, like a big system, like the entire thing you're saying is karma.
Beautiful. The biggest mistake that we do is to narrowly define karma as a process of reward and punishment basis our so-called good and bad actions. Karma is a system. Karma is a force that drives our current reality. It is nothing to do with good, bad, right, wrong.
Okay.
Do you see this?
So these actions which lead to outcomes is just a part of the system. You're saying that the entire system is what is called karma.
Yes.
Okay. Because when you were saying, isn't your heart beating, isn't that your karma? When everything you kept equating it to your karma. So you're just saying that the entire force is what should actually be called karma and not just the action.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There is an entire force, an entire system that is integrating so-called you consciously, unconsciously. That force is karma.
Wow. Okay.
Right?
So as scary as it is, it also sounds quite intriguing, and I would love to know more about the system and how you identify it, and delve a little deeper into it.
That's the right question to ask, Preeti, and let us do that in our next episode. That how do we identify what the system is, and how can I, if required, can I maneuver through the system?
Right.
How do I live the system? How do we change the system? Because if you look at karma as a system, not as narrowly defining as good, bad, right, wrong, a very different intuition will come in the entire process. So let's do that in our next episode.
Awesome. I think my biggest takeaway from today is just this exactly what you were just saying about how karma is in fact a system. It's a force of patterns that run our lives.
Correct.
And these outcomes of good, bad, all of that is just a part of the system.
It's just a part of the system.
Wow. Okay.
So
I think that's going to be my big takeaway.
And if I were to define it again to some extent, any action at the level of thought, speech, deeds, consciously, subconsciously, is a part of your karma.
Okay. Thoughts, actions, and deeds.
Both conscious
and
unconscious is a part of your karma, because this unconscious pattern was a conscious pattern at some point of time. We will deal with it later, not right now. To our viewers, please let us know what you think is karma, and how do you define karma for yourself? And all those who have registered for our workshop, you're more than welcome to join us from the following week. And those who want to still register, go ahead and do it right now. Fine, Fidhi, thank you so much, and I'm going to see you next week.
All right. Thank you so much, Bidan. I'm quite intrigued about this entire series. If you found this video useful, please do share it with your friends, like and leave your valuable comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel as well. Thank you.